Welcome to Success in Business. We're a panel of experts in our field, and we're here to share our wisdom with you. Today, we're going to be talking about effective communication, and we're going to start by introducing ourselves. Angelina, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Angelina. I'm from Hawaii, and I do taxes and accounting. So happy to be talking about communication. Thank you.
Petrie.
Hello, everyone. I am Petrie Leone, the CEO and founder of Health for Wealth. I'm a health strategist, designed and developed a 4-pillar method that is based on your mindset, overall health and wellness, relationships, and finances to get you off the roller coaster and a way of life to the life that you deserve. And I also have developed and manufactured my own supplements and proteins. The supplements are specific to women's health as well as my line for men's health as well. So
fantastic. Oh, that's very good.
Awesome.
And I'm Stacy McPherson, and I'm co-founder of the business Happy Life Results. And the other founders are my children and my husband. We're a family-owned business. And I'm a business coach, and we help people to get more balance in their lives. Like when you look for a coach, you need to find someone who actually is living the life you want to live financially and with relationships and with their health, all areas of their life. Because if they don't, then you may be following in their footsteps to have the life that they have, and maybe it's not exactly what you want. So just look at your coach's life, interview them, and make sure that they have the kind of life that you want. And so that's one of the things that I have to offer, because I have been married almost 30 years. This December, it will be 30 years, and we're more in love than ever. We have 7 children. We travel the world, and I have a very complex lifestyle, but I've learned to be able to bring all of these elements together and find balance in all of these elements. So I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so happy to talk about effective communication. So we'll start with Petrie. Go ahead, Petrie.
Yes. Thank you. You know, I will say, yes, I'm very intrigued with your life because you're all over the world. This topic is amazing for me because this was something that I really struggled as an entrepreneur starting my business. I was going along a few years ago, and I was just wondering, why doesn't anyone get it? And it was because I wasn't. I want to back up a minute, because effective communication is not always about what you're saying. It's also listening. And I started doing this thing where, because I always get so passionate and excited and caught up in the moment, I started putting my tongue on the roof of my mouth so I wouldn't speak before I should. Because if you think about it, you can't really help anyone or know what's going on or know their goals and their desires and their wants and their needs unless you're listening. So effective communication goes with listening and speaking. But I had problems with both. So I really worked on that and did that little trick. But then I realized that effective communication, when someone said, well, what do you do? How do you do it? How would you do this for me? They weren't really understanding me because I was speaking in industry standard words. My verbiage was technical, too technical. And I found that I was speaking at people rather than speaking to them and educating them. So, and answering their questions effectively. So I had 4 people in 1 week that told me, oh, I know what you do. I think it's really amazing, but I'm just not understanding what you would do for me. A woman told me that. My own business coach told me, you really have to be simplified. You have to be simple because it's going over everybody's head, mainly because I was speaking, like I said, with words and verbiage that people would only know have if they're in the industry or they've been certified with certain things. So my big turning point was I went on stage and I had to go in front of 2,500 people, which I have no problem speaking at all in front of anyone. But usually when I'm going up on stage, I'm thinking to myself, because I usually wear like really high heels, and I'm thinking, please don't let me trip. Please don't let these heels slip or catch on anything. But it wasn't like that. This time I was going, please let people understand what I'm trying to convey. So that was in my head, and I was really in my own head. So I was on this panel with amazing 5 successful, very, very successful businessmen, very fit and healthy. And they, right before we went on stage, they went from a concept of a round table with little chairs around the table to talk in a conversation to bar stools. So we had high bar stools on the stage and I was in the middle. When I went up there, I went and sat down and all I thought about was, please say something simple, say something simple. And at the same time, the camera is up my skirt. It was even with my dress. So I'm thinking,
No.
oh my God, I gotta close my legs, keep my legs closed. I crossed my legs. Someone down in front goes, make sure you keep your legs closed. And I always cross my ankles, but it just didn't seem like enough. So I crossed my legs so tightly the whole time. And by the time the question got to me, Bruce Buffer was right next to me. Super healthy guy. We live very, very similar. We live very similar with our fitness and our chemistry of our body and our nutrition and hormones. So he said, as soon as the question hit me, what did I do? I started in with my habit, my habitual talking and all my verbiage that I didn't want to do. And I stopped myself. And I stopped and it sounded like I flubbed a little, but Bruce Buffer was so gracious to sweep in and go, everything she said was true. What you consume and put in your body affects everything. But then he started to do this little type of comic relief where he allowed me time to get my thoughts together and simplify what I was saying. So he had said in the interim, because he's real fit, great looking guy. He's like, I'm 62. I've got all of my hair. He has a gorgeous head of hair. And he said, he goes, I live in LA and I don't even do Botox. So he was very proud of that. So
Awesome.
It was a comic moment. It was a comical moment. Yeah, it was a comical moment. So it was seamless. So then he pushed it back to me and we bantered a little. And then I got out what I wanted to say. But what I did was I took from that 3 things. Effective communication has to be, number one, you've got to be vulnerable and relatable. And believe me, I am relatable. I spent 22 years of my adulthood being on the roller coaster, on and off, no matter what it was with. And then I had 2 years, 12 years ago, where I was in the deepest, darkest depression and I gained 50 pounds. People that know me between 8 and 10 years think that I've always had things, easy. It's not easy taking care of yourself, but it is easier living very healthy. So I realized I had to bring walls down and be vulnerable and be relatable, not talk at people. I realized that I had to have the keywords, take out epigenetic nutrition. Nobody knows what that means. It's the chemistry. You know what I mean? Everyone's like, what did you just say? I never heard that word. Speaking for your body chemistry, your nutrition, how food is broken down in your body and what it does. So I started speaking a few years ago. The word transformation was all over the place. Transformation, a holistic transformation. All that translates to is a natural change. That's it. Natural change. And all my supplements and proteins are all natural. And what I do and what we do together is we teach you how to have your body and your mindset fit and running like it's supposed to, like a well-oiled machine. So you feel that inside and out with mind and body, and it affects every corner of your life in business and in your personal life. So that's, as a CEO and founder, I developed that 4-pillar method that I talked about earlier. And I'm telling you, effective communication by listening, by being relatable, and by putting it in simplified terms changed everything for me. So when I got off stage that day, oh my God, my legs were so tense because I had tightened them so hard.
No.
And then everybody swarmed to me going, how do you do that? What do you do? I never heard of that. Can you tell me more? So they were intrigued. So it really is a very, very important thing to be effective on your communication with anything or anywhere or with anyone. So yeah, I'm Petrie. So thank you so much. And I like I said, I really struggled with this, and I didn't think that I was going to really move forward with my business because that's how hard I struggled with it. So thank you.
Wow. Oh my gosh. So amazing. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I learned so much. Like, you just really took us on your journey with you. Thank you.
Oh, good.
Okay. Angelina, are you ready? I'll turn the time to you.
I was thinking about this topic, and there's so many different ways, right, that we can be effective in the way that we communicate. And I chose this topic because it's something that happened recently, and it's really understanding the preference that our clients or our customers want to communicate with us. You know, living in this technological world that we're in right now, right? There's so many different ways that information and communication is just like all over the place, right? And it may be more apparent to me because I have a hybrid type of business, right? Where people do things online and only want to be online, never want to be seen. But I also have a door where people just walk right in, you know, they just walk right in. And so a client had called me, and a new one had called, and he was really uncomfortable with the idea of having to use the computer to communicate with me, you know, and he opened his heart and he says, "You're not going to make me do those types of things, are you, if I work with you?" You know, and I wanted to make him feel better. So I said, "Absolutely not. You know, you can send me an SOS, you can send me a pigeon, do whatever you want to do. That's the way we're going to communicate." You know, but it's that communication, right? And we can't just say, "No, you don't have to do that." We have to insert something into them when we're communicating to replace whatever it is that they're feeling, right? And so just really being aware and, you know, adapting ourselves in the way that our clients and customers want to communicate with us rather than forcing them to adapt to us, right? And that's something that every business can struggle with because there are so many different lines going all over the place, right? And we want everything to come down inside one little funnel, right? So that we know exactly what we're supposed
Yes.
to do. But it's just sometimes it's just not easy to do that. So that's my story on effective communication, is understanding the different methods and really specifically asking, what is your comfort, right? I have this super policy in my office, and if somebody doesn't follow it, I get really, really upset. But it's not just asking, what's your email, or can I text you? I really say, do you feel comfortable with it? You know? So, and then the lovely,
Wow.
good old lovely telephone, right? We can never forget that. We can never forget that, right?
Nobody seems to use it anymore.
Nobody seems to use it anymore, right?
I know.
Yeah. So thank you for letting me share.
Thank you so much. Oh, I love that. That's so eloquent, like the way that you describe, like helping people and being able to meet them where they are, and then also like help them grow, like encourage them to go to the next level with you. So I love that. And I love how you said, I have a door that they can walk into.
Yeah.
And they just walk right in.
I love it so much. Oh, thank you for sharing. That's very powerful. Your clients are lucky to have you, for sure. Oh, well, thank you. I'll begin. And I didn't mention in my intro that I also have 3 grandchildren. And so I just recently moved down the road from my grandchildren and have gotten to spend a lot of time with them, which has been fabulous. So, so much fun. Yeah. Okay, so
I can't wait to get to that part.
Yes, it's so rewarding. I love it. Yep.
Exactly.
Okay, so I want to share. So I also mentioned at the beginning that I've been married 30 years and that my relationship and my communication with my spouse has gotten better and better over the years. A lot of times people look at their marriage and they say the best time was at the beginning. And that's very common, where the best part of the relationship was when they were first dating and first married. And then it just kind of got not so great after that. But ours, we've just kept working on it, kept practicing, kept trying new things and learning to communicate better and better. And now it's so effortless. Like before there was friction and, like trying to explain and having long talks and trying to understand each other. And all of that is important, but we've gotten to a point where we just communicate very seamlessly. And so we broke it down and we're kind of asking ourselves, what are we doing that's different than other people? And one of the things that helped us so much in breaking it down is our daughter went to college, and she just kind of had assumed everyone had relationships like her parents, and was kind of shocked to find out that we're very rare. That she couldn't really find people who had a relationship where they had effortless communication that got better and better over the years. And so she came back to us and said, okay, what are you doing? I need to know. I want to have a relationship someday. I want to know. And so she actually took us and sat us down, and she interviewed us, and we have 80 hours of recording of us talking about what, I know, isn't that crazy? And we discussed every aspect. And what she's done is she got very passionate about sharing this, and she's creating a relationship course. And she is taking all of the material, and she's adding in bonus material and discussing things. She has a beautiful voice that she just does as in the background to explain things when it needs added explanation. And so she's working on a crowdfunding project, and she wants to be able to do this full time. So that's really exciting.
Excellent.
Yeah, I wanted to share with you an experience where we didn't have great communication. My husband and I, so I went shopping, and I was living in Thailand. So I went to this great big outdoor market, and it's like 15,000 stalls, and it's just huge. And so I'm walking through, and I'm like, look, I'm looking for a dress, and I was just passing by the pets and the pet section. It smells horrible. You're like wanting to get out of it, but at the same time, they have like the most exotic, crazy animals. Even I think some of them must be illegal because they have just the most exotic animals. So you kind of have to see the pets, but then you hurry out because it smells so bad. And then they also have lots of food stalls. So you'll smell, amazing Thai food, and you'll see the coconut ice cream and all of this. And so finally I found this dress, and it was beautiful. Like I was so excited about it. It was white. It had kind of like eyelet lace, but it was a summer dress. So it was very versatile, and I was so excited. So I got this dress, and I took it home and tried it on for my husband, just like waiting, like thinking he's going to say, oh, you look so beautiful. And he looks at me and he's like, oh, is it comfortable? And in my mind, that meant that is the most horrible dress. Only wear it if it's comfortable. So I put it in my closet, and honestly, I did not wear it for years.
Oh, wow.
And so at one point we were organizing things, and he saw it, and he was like, why don't you ever wear that dress? And I said, I just said, oh, you said you didn't like it. And he was like, I didn't like it. And I go, well, you asked me if it was comfortable. And he was like, when I buy clothing, that's the thing I ask myself more than anything else. Is it comfortable? So when I just applied that to you and wanted to know if it was comfortable. so we had this complete miscommunication, right? It was so funny. I mean, years of this dress did not get worn. So luckily I pulled it out and wore it and everything. And so I wanted to make 2 points from that experience. And one is that we don't always know what is in the word, the meaning of the words that people use. Like we use words differently than other people. So I like to think of it as a suitcase. A word is a suitcase, and inside that suitcase, people pack all kinds of meaning. And when we're at the airport and there's all these suitcases, there could be 2 identical suitcases, 2 big black Samsonite suitcases, and someone can pull it off and think it's theirs, but inside it's different. So for example, it could have dolls and play toys, or it could have bodybuilding equipment or something, right? And so what we need to do when we communicate is inspect what's inside of the suitcases of our words. And we do this by reflectively listening, asking, is this what you meant? When you said this, I thought you meant this. What did you mean? And understanding that over time, what's in our own word suitcases will change. And for example, if I say the word Australia and you've never been there, you didn't do a school project on it, you don't know much about it, it would be very different than if a year later you went to Australia. Then what's in your suitcase for Australia? You pet the koalas, you fed the kangaroos, all of that, and it would be very different. So what's in our words changes over time, and it's unique from person to person. So when my husband said, is it comfortable? To me, what did it mean? Don't wear it unless it's comfortable, because it has no other redeeming qualities. Or is it comfortable because he cares about my comfort and that's important to him? And so I just had that experience to share. So the thing that I learned, the first thing was the word baggage, what's inside those words. And then the second thing I learned is if something someone is going to say will change your behavior, be clear you understand them.
Oh, that is so true.
If it's not going to change your behavior, then it's not quite as critical. It does help you to get to know the person better and everything, but just look, am I going to change my behavior because of what someone says? If so, I better understand. So those were kind of the two takeaways from that experience. And I'm just so happy to be here and sharing with you. And I'm grateful for this opportunity. And I'm so happy that we could do this together, ladies. It's so much fun, isn't it?
I know. It is. You know, I have to just, oh, sure.
Oh, so do you ask him now, do I look pretty?
You know what's funny? What's funny is for me, feeling pretty is more about my mood than what I actually look like. So, okay, well, thank you, and we'll see you all again. Bye.
Oh, I totally agree with you. It's what you feel about yourself.
Yes.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye.